Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? This would be a really good time to say yes. Because you wouldn't believe the tech nightmare we have. I'm just waiting for someone. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Now, if I turn that off, can you still hear me, guys? I've just turned my internal mic down. Oh, now I can hear. Can you still hear though? Can you hear when I'm doing this? It's quiet, but you're there. Okay, so I'll just try and speak up. Maybe that will help. Actually, let me change that to louder. Yes, can still hear. Thank God for that. I'm here. Now, this might all go wrong. There's still time because you would not believe the saga, but that is a story for another day. Hi, welcome everyone that is jumping on. I can see Jade, Leslie. Let's have a look. I don't know why my thing's not working on there. I'm just going to give up there actually and hope that it's still working down here. Try refreshing the page. Yeah, you have to press the click. If you've not pressed the play at the very start, you have to press the play. Hi Heidi, Gemma, Claire, Laura, Marilyn, Kelly, Leslie. So you know this is a live webinar. Emma, I saw there. Cherry, Becca, April, yay! Jess, perfect. So I'm just going to make sure when you're doing a webinar, if you haven't got the expensive webinar set up, as I haven't, you have about 1,000 moving parts on your computer. And so at any point you're trying to look at 5 million different things to make sure it's still working. So there you go. Forgive me. I am a kind of gaffer tape and spit kind of girl to try and get this to work. Press play, guys, at the start. Yeah, so hopefully you press play and then it should all be streaming out to you. I'm sure everyone will let me know if you have an issue with anything. So I think we're okay. Sound, everybody can hear, everyone can hear and everyone can see. So I'm just moving my stuff so I can try and get my, can't kind of get this, I can't make sure it's still streaming and get your comments in at the same time, unless I do that. So hopefully we're okay. So today we're going to talk about 3 essential parts of effective and engaging social media. So image is great. Yes, can see and hear perfectly. Amazing. Loving the flamingo behind you. It's so cool. He's full length right to the floor. I never quite know where to sit because I don't want to see him like he's coming out of my head, but it's always a bit weird. But it's my little bit that I've only just started to use. Have you moved your desk? Yeah, well, that's the whole saga about being ill and being in hospital, and I have to be uncomfortable now. I can't sit on my couch for long periods of time because that's what caused the issue. So yes, right, I'm going to try and screen share. Now this might be where things start to fall apart, but I have faith that the gods will shine down on me today and let me do this. Okay. I can, another story for another day is quite the saga of what it's taken to get here. Now I'm hopefully going to share. Can everyone see a presentation? Let me know if you can see a presentation on the screen. It would be like just the most amazing things if you could see that. It says I'm presenting to everyone. I can see it. Praise the Lord and all that is holy. You can see it. Oh, I wonder if I do this, if you can just, let me just try something, guys. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? No. Exit that. We don't want that. I can't see anything when I do that. Okay, so I wish you could just have it like that without the bits at the side. Let me just see if I can view. Might just have to go with what it is. I don't want Navigator. Is that going to turn that off? No, it's not. Let me turn that off. Anyway, you don't mind seeing the slides that are about to come, I'm sure. I can see it. Don't try anything, Jade says. I was just trying to get the slides off the side, you know, because it doesn't look as good. But no, Jade's right. Jade's right. This has been a journey, hasn't it, Jade, my love? Okay, so I'm just going to go for it. And any issues that crop up, let me know in the chat. And for the love of tea, lady, don't mess with it. I know, honestly. Okay, so I'm Abby, for those of you who don't know me. And I know lots of people are going to catch this webinar on replay when I send out the replay link. So if you don't know me, I'm Abby. I started blogging in 2013. I feel like a dinosaur. I'd earned money within 4 months, and within about 15 months, I was earning more than I'd ever done in a proper job before. I now work with major brands, international brands as an ambassador, things like that. But mainly now I kind of focus on my own stuff, and I create online courses. I coach other bloggers. I am also a membership site owner and an author and some other stuff too. But I'm not going to go into everything because, you know, we've all got stuff to do. But I've been blogging for 5 years now and earning a full-time income from my blog and associated businesses, I suppose, for a significant proportion of that time. So all but 4 months of it, really. Just let me know that you can still see stuff, and I don't want to put it onto Keynote Live. I'm scared it's going to really freak out the whole thing. So I'll just leave it like this with the tabs down the side, and just forgive me that it's not quite as flash, but quite a lot of people present like this actually, so people can see what's coming next, but hopefully it's not too distracting. And we're here today to talk about social media. So social media there's no doubt about it, is essential for growth of your business and growth of your blog. But if it's not done well, it becomes a real time suck with little or no ROI. And ROI, for anyone who doesn't know, is return on investment. Now, we've all spent time, I'm sure, on Facebook scrolling for nothing, just scrolling, just in that kind of magpie, like FOMO scroll. And then all that happens is that we feel a little bit disappointed in ourselves that we haven't done the thing that we're meant to do. And we just get sucked into this and we say, oh, social media takes so long and I'm not sure I'm getting the benefit of it yet. Can you just give me something in the chat, someone? Because the chat's completely stopped. And I want to make sure everything's still going on. So that would be handy, but I still see it's moving. So hopefully it's okay. And so I wanted to talk to you today about that's me all the time, big scroller. Yeah, totally, Jade. I mean, I do it. I still do it now. I send, Jade messages going, I just can't, I can't hear it, and I'm just, I can't do the thing I'm doing because I'm getting distracted. So whatever niche you're in, people connect with real people. And I think the issue can come with that we can be really unsure of putting ourselves out there. We don't want to share stuff and be people, to be put off by it. And we might think it's not relevant, or we're too scared to not be beige Bev. So we're scared of standing out. Sometimes it's easy, isn't it, to fly under the radar in a sea of mediocrity and just be kind of just average and, I'm just, just me. I'm not, I'm not anything special, or I'm not, what I'm doing isn't important to anyone else or isn't interesting, but it is to your ideal reader. And that's something to bear in mind. So today I'm going to talk about 3 essential ingredients of what I think essential ingredients of social media are. Now, these aren't groundbreaking things, but we're going to dive into each one and explain why it's so important. What if we're scared we are beige Bev? Well, you need to listen up, my love, and learn to pull out things. I'm going to share how you can pull out things of your character to really engage with your audience more. So don't you worry, Julie, I've got stuff for you coming up. So the main things are, the 3 essential ingredients are images, content, and organization. So as I said, this isn't groundbreaking. I'm not going to say it's this one thing that you can put on your Facebook page that's going to mean effective and engaging social media. That wouldn't work. But images, content, and organization all combine to be you know, combine to be the force of effective social media. So we're going to talk about images first. I need a love heart. I know, it's a shame we haven't got, I think that's what I'm missing here. We haven't got the reaction. It's like, oh, please let everyone still be there. So images are vital. So people process images 60,000 times faster than words. Now, I'm just going to say that again, people process images 60,000 times faster than words. Like I can't even comprehend that in my tiny little mind. Like it's mental, you know, that the images give your words more context as well. And we might not like it. And some people out there who aren't great at photography or aren't great at like imagery and aesthetics won't want to believe it, but aesthetics are so important, especially in an online world where people make a decision in like less than 3 seconds. So the power of visuals. Research shows that images get more engagement than text alone. So that makes sense. We process them so much quicker. So we're gonna have more people processing them. So we're gonna have more people engaging with them. For a Facebook post from brands that include images earn 87% of all the engagements that they get, which is, again, bonkers. Tweets with images earn up to 18% more clicks, 89% more favorites, and 150% more retweets. So if you have any tweets going out without an image on them, then you seriously need to sort that out, because 150% more retweets if it's got an image on it. So those stats just show you why it's so important to use images and hopefully drive that home a little bit. But what if you're not good at photography? Okay, because quite a lot of people out there aren't. I've got better over the years and I think I'm pretty proficient, but some people just aren't, you know. And so you've got 2 choices. You've got option 1, get better at photography, and option 2, use stock photography. So which option you choose depends on whether you have the time or the money to do either of them. So if you want to get better at photography, you need money to do a course probably, or time to you know, invest in learning that manual and really digging into it, which I just can't do because I can't read an instruction manual. It's against my religion. I just can't bear it. Those stats, says Jade, I know those stats are incredible. So you have to use images. And if you're not that kind of person, that's a real shift to make. It's like the people that don't want to use video. It's happening, guys. It's happening. You've got to use it, you know. However, I still think there will come a time when you will need to use a stock image. So, for example, say you're on holiday and it is absolutely pouring down, and you go to the town and you want to write about this great town, but all the images you have are like horrendous. And even in Lightroom, you cannot make them better because it was such a grey day. Well, then you can go onto a stock image site and you can find an image that a professional photographer has taken of that town, and you can use it. You can give them credit. That's fine if you want to. You don't have to, because some of these sites are, you know, attribution free, but you could do that and it would make your post better. You could say, hey, you know, you could be honest and say, hey, on the day we went, it was awful weather, but, you know, here's what it looks like in the sun. And that's much better for you, for your post, all of that, you know. So I think there will come a time when you have to use stock images at some point, and you will want to use them. It's, you know, there's no, I don't think there's any shame in it at all, or any negativity really. So the basics to remember when you're using stock images are always use a reputable source. So my favorites, and I'll show you the sites in a second, are Unsplash, Pexels and Pixabay. And it just gives you so many options. Like I said, if you're on holiday and it all goes wrong and you just need that snap of the seafront, you know, in Cannes or something, you know, you're going to find that on one of these sites, and it's going to take the pressure off. There's a time when you've written that post late at night and all your kids are in bed and you need a picture of something and you can't get it, and the post needs to go live, then you're going to use a stock image because it's going to make your life easier. So as I said, there's lots of free stock sites. My favorites are on screen. I think I always go to Unsplash first because they're just so authentic, and really beautiful pictures. You know, that you can sort of tell Unsplash pictures from a mile off. Really, they're really, you know, awesome. And you can really use stock that rocks. This is a stock photo behind on this slide now. I mean, that is an amazing picture. So I really want to open your eyes that using stock photography is not a cop-out and it's not like a bad thing. So I would say make sure that the image fits the context and the content. So make sure you think of a picture that would sum up that post, and then go searching for it. Avoid faces wherever possible, because I feel like using random faces seems a bit weird if they're not people I know, and it can be distracting. So if I use stock images of women, I tend to just get the images where they're shot from behind, because it's a group of friends and you can't quite see their faces fully. I do use one if it's if it fits, but tend to avoid faces where possible, and stay away from those cliched images. So for example, like I blog a lot about business, I wouldn't have the kind of man in a business suit shaking hands or cheesy smiles or headsets or anything like that, because it doesn't represent business to me, what business is to me. Okay. Avoid cluttered pictures as well. Occasionally this works, depending on how good the photographer is that's taking the pictures, but make sure above all that it fits with your brand. There are thousands of stock images out there, hundreds of thousands, and it can be really overwhelming trying to find the one that fits. But when you choose the right one, it will really make a difference to that image and can make your post, it can really lift a post. I know people that write about quite sentimental, personal things, and so they don't put images in there. But people need an image to connect. So it might be that you've written something personal, but you can find a picture of a tear running down someone's face, and it doesn't have to be the whole face, but that would then just tell your story a bit more and help someone put meat on the bones of your story. And always go for candid shots. So those relaxed photos are always more engaging than those sort of graphic, the really posed pictures that people can do. They never look great. But I find the ones that are shot from behind are normally more candid anyway. And I think it's like having a professional photographer on the payroll. So we'd all outsource to a VA if we could, we could afford it. We'd all outsource to people like imagine being able to hire someone to do your blog tech. We'd outsource that in a flash. But why don't we want to outsource our photography? Not all of it. You don't have to outsource. You still want to include pictures of you or your child, and you're going to have to take them yourself. But in terms of photos that are slightly more generic for your blog, why not have a professional photographer on your payroll kind of thing without having them actually on the payroll? And so won't everyone be using the same image? So this is what I hear a lot. Well, won't everyone use the same image? And there are a few ways around it. So no, not everyone is going to use that same image, because there's loads of sites and people are attracted to different images, but there are ways to do that. There are ways to use that stock image and it be really completely different. I'm going to talk about cropping and something else in a moment. So cropping, you can take one image and you can crop it in multiple different ways. So this means that you can use it more than once, and it also means it will look more unique. So this probably isn't the best example I found, but this was one of my recreations when I was in hospital after losing all of this launch stuff. So you can see this original image in the top left of the screen, and I've just cropped it 4 ways really quickly with a snipping tool. And it gives you, 4 different images, one with the bowl of cranberries in the middle, one with the Christmas card more in centre, one with the cup of tea in it, and one with the leaf in it. So it just shows you how cropping blows my mind, Jade says. So it just shows you how you can have that one image, but then you can crop it in those different ways. So if you imagine if 10 of you were using that original image, but you all cropped it different, you would all get a different image, wouldn't you? So it's not, so you can really use a stock image and make it your own. And that's the point of this little bit of the presentation, was to open your eyes to the fact that sometimes you can just do something different and it makes it more your image. And the next thing you can do is filter. Now, I'm not sure how much the resolution is going to show this, but you can use a filter to change the feel of an image and make it fit more with your brand. So I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to go back to that slide if I remember, because there's a cool app that I can't show you, but I want to at least mention to you. But you could use a filter. So say, for example, we've got the top one here, and I know it's it's not the best image I could have picked, but There you go. So we've got a more green filter in the bottom left of the screen. We've got a black and white sort of soft filter with a really blown out edge. And we've got a different coloured, like a different greeny kind of browny tone in the bottom right under where it says edits. So that's just one image. It's actually quite a similar colour all the way through. But even that shows you how you can change the image, change that image. And so you can, if you have an image that is kind of quite white, but your Instagram maybe is quite pinkish or something, you could filter it with that pinkish kind of tint of, you know, in Lightroom, and make it fit more with your actual main brand and aesthetic. So just wanted to go back to this app called Afterlight 2. Now, I've not tried this myself, but I have seen it in action, and it is quite amazing. If you imagine having, the example I saw was like a straw hat on a table, and you imagine that straw hat is the kind of straw color. It's kind of that beige color. With Afterlight, you can select a color, which in the instance that I saw was a pink color, and you can swipe it on one of the objects, and it changes that whole object just automatically to that light pink color that you've selected. And so you can really fit things in with your branding a lot more. And again, that's just using a stock image, uploading it into this app, changing the color, you know, one of the actual, not the filter of the whole image, but the actual one of the objects in the image to a different color. So it would be worth checking out something like Afterlight. But as I said, I don't use it myself yet. I'm yet to download it, but it's something definitely to check out. So that's, again, we look at the filters. The other thing you can do with images is add branding. So you can personalize stock images really easily. You can, anything on the screen, basically, anything that has a screen or a picture frame can be personalized. So you can use it to promote your YouTube, a product, a service, a social media platform, whatever. So as you can see, there's a little image down here, and I just uploaded a tiny screenshot of my Ignite Your Audience branding onto that screen. There's lots of platforms that can do this for you, or you can just do it in Canva yourself. And it makes that more my image because it's got my design on it. So that's a really good thing to do. You see it a lot in launches with people with a computer, with their course on that computer. They've not taken that image. You know, I've used them on Instagram before, and people are like, "Oh, your desk is amazing." It's not my desk. It's on a, you know, it's a stock photo that I've put the graphics for my course onto that computer. So there's ways you can do it yourself, or there's ways you can do it with websites. So now I want to talk about, so hopefully that's given you some more ideas. So let me know in the chat if those two ways of using stock photos are, you know, something you've not thought of before. So I see Leslie says, clever idea. I would never have thought of cropping stock pictures. Yeah, I mean, it just makes them more it makes them more unique. I would never have thought to edit stock photos, says Becca. Yes, it just gives you like a whole new world. Okay, so carry on letting me know, and I'm going to go on to the next section, which is the so this actually is just an example of the content. I'm just going to move that because I had to change my slides before I came on here. So the next section is content. And as you can see, there's my Instagram, and as you can see, also it's I had to change the size of my slide, and so some of the things aren't aligned. So this is my Instagram, and as you can see, I'm going to move that out there so you can see content. Content really is king, and we're going to talk about that now in this section of this webinar. I crop but generally don't amend. Need to make sure the right say you can amend. Yeah, you have to always make sure that you can do these things, the cropping and adjusting and all of that jazz. But if you find a great site that lets you be able to do these things, most of them are attribution free, and you can use them as you wish if you go to a really good site. So that's worth bearing in mind. Content is king. So the importance of content is that content is how you connect with your ideal reader. So you can give them a feeling of we're in it together and share your value. It's how you share your value with your audience. And obviously you need to share your business and you need to share your products and services, but you don't share this alone, because otherwise it just seems really faceless. And I think that's where people are missing out, because they don't want to share themselves or their journey. But part of the brilliance in getting somewhere is being able to share your journey along the way. And we don't all have to be experts. You have to just be one step ahead of the people that you're helping. And so by sharing your journey, and I've given the example of people with postnatal depression before, you can help people that are at the beginning of that journey, even if you're not at the end, you know. You can still say, hey, this is where I am now. This is what's helped me to this point. But being really honest in that, and really standing in that truth and saying, this is who I am, really helps create a brand around your blog and your business without just being what your niche is. And so most of your posts should be giving this value and trying to make a connection, in my opinion. So you need content that connects, and that is sharing your likes, dislikes, quirks. But really, it is stop playing safe. Stop being so beige bev. Be just as prepared to turn people off as you are to turn them on. So, you know, it goes back to that attract and repel. So you should build everything to attract and repel. So by that, I mean, it should attract your ideal readers and repel everyone else, because it doesn't matter about them. Your true fans will find you if you are being really truthful to who you are. But if you're not, and you're playing safe, and you're just kind of being the person that maybe you've fallen into being, people are not going to find you. So they might not want your service now or your product now, but if they connect with you on a personal level, then they'll remember you when they do. So when they need that, say you're a wedding stationer, but you don't just share your wedding stationery designs, you share your love of your dachshund dog, or your love of, you know, camping holidays or whatever. So if you're sharing that, the love of those things, you're going to connect with people around your brand, okay? And then when they need those wedding invitations, they're going to think of you, aren't they? So they might even recommend you to friends. So remember that you're sharing more than just what you do, and you're sharing you, and that's really important. Because, as I said, if these people aren't, say they're not married, and they're not engaged rather, and they're not looking to get married, but they just love that, they think your designs are really pretty, and they've got a dash out too, and they love it, and they love camping trips, and they love you talking about your family's camping trips, then that helps you when they do get engaged. And then they'll, that girl I really like on social media, she also does that. Oh, hey, God, I'll go back to her now. And they make those connections, okay? And as I said, they might even recommend you to friends. So give yourself time to create the content as well. That's really important. Even your Instagram captions. So no, they don't have to be instant. Nothing in your business needs to be instant. It all should be planned. You can post Instagram on the spur of the moment when you have the headspace to do so. But I would really advise to having your Instagram scheduled out. And then when you have the moments when you want to be spontaneous, just stop that schedule and post spontaneously. But for me, I would rather be on a day out with my family, taking snaps and putting the phone down, then rather than trying to think of a caption, trying to edit it, I would rather just edit it in hindsight and think of a caption that really helps my audience, rather than just be really selfish. Kind of, here's what we're doing today, rather than, and by selfish, I don't mean in a nasty way, but if I have time to think of how a lesson I learned would help them and would benefit them, that's got to be better, hasn't it, than just spewing out something that I can think of in the moment. So you need to think when you're creating, I want to say curating, but when you're creating this content, what is your brand voice? So you are your brand, and no one wants to engage with beige Bev. Poor Bev, I do give her a hard time on these things, but you need to integrate your personality into your brand persona. And in doing so, your captions will represent the ethos of your brand. So no one wants you to be, if you've got quite a squeaky clean brand, and you're effing and jeffing on Facebook every 5 minutes, it's going to feel weird. Like if you're an effing and jeffing kind of brand, then that's fine. But if there's a disconnect, then that will feel like a big disconnect to your audience. And so you need to make sure, hey, what represents me? What am I going to make my brand persona? And by doing this, how to get there is think of 5 words that sum up your brand. And so if you don't know how to do this, I asked my inner circle recently and said, hey guys, what are 5 words that you would, if you think of Abby Moore or You Baby Me Mummy. What are 5 words that you would come up with that would, you know, encapsulate what I'm all about? Okay, now this could be, it could be objects, it could be words, it could be anything. You know, I'm not going to say they have to be like adjectives. They could be, you know, it could be mac and cheese if I like macaroni and cheese or whatever. And so you can see there all the responses that I got. Hopefully you can see there. I'm still checking that we are okay. Yeah, okay. So you can see some words came up time and time again, and those are the words sort of like inspirational, motivating, real, honest, hardworking, friendly, focused. There's a few more that came up a few times. Dedicated. You know, you can see them on the screen. And I asked people, you know, what they thought of me, and then I'm not going to, if you know, if there were words that I didn't really think, I wouldn't have them in my brand persona. But quite often people see the good in you more than you can see it in yourself. And so asking people, ask your friends, ask your audience, ask your partner, you know, what sums me up, really helps you decide on these sort of 5 brand traits. If you've got 6, go for it. Doesn't matter, doesn't have to be 5. 5 is just a good number. And then you're going to incorporate these brand traits into your content. So it's how you create, this is how you create a cohesive brand that gets traction. So I see people that do one thing here and then do another thing there and do something else somewhere else, and then they've got a different tone, and it doesn't fit because it doesn't make sense to people. So we're going to talk quickly about the anatomy of a good Instagram caption. So Instagram captions should have 3 main things. You should have the context, the personality, and a call to action. So you can create a great Instagram caption by thinking of, what is the purpose of this? So don't just put a picture of something random, you know, like what purpose? Do you want someone to laugh? Do you want them to cry? Do you want them to feel less alone? Do you want them to feel like what do you want them to feel? What value are you going to give them? So when you've made them feel that thing, what are you going to then offer them, you know, as a solution? You know, do you feel like this? Okay, well, I did, and I felt, now I'm that, you know, now I feel like this, or this might help you. Make it readable, so you can spread it out. Now you can do all kinds of different things. The same, poor Bev in the chat. I know, poor Bev. Don't be beige, Bev. Make sure that it has a story. So everything you create should have a story. So I've spoken before about Instagram stories should have a story. Ideally, there should be more than one thing. It should take people on a journey. So it should have a hook, which is the, do you feel like this? Or have, you know, something that makes people sit up and take notice and go, oh yeah, that is me. The body of the caption, the conclusion, the call to action. You can make your captions really effective and engaging by always asking questions. And then make sure you respond with a question. So when you respond to someone, ask them another question. So say, hey, you know, I think this, but what do you think? You know, and ask the question again, because that creates even more engagement. And obviously using hashtags is really important too. And we can't go into it too much today, but I've got a little treat later on for you regarding hashtags. So again, we're going to just briefly look at Facebook, because Instagram and Facebook are the ones that really, really are sort of demanding that engagement. It's not as much on Twitter. It's not as much on Pinterest. It is Facebook and Instagram that really want that engagement. And so there's been so many bits of research on the anatomy of the perfect Facebook post. And most has agreed on the fact that it is a link post, it's brief, so 80 to 150 characters. It's timely and newsworthy, that it follows other posts in a regular schedule, and that it's posted at non-peak times. Now, I would say that these are things that people have done research and found out, but it's really important to, you know, I sum it down to use an image, use stats if you can, test it with your audience and make it short and valuable. And that's what I would sum that research up to be. I would really test it with your audience. You can't necessarily say this will work for everyone. It depends on your audience, but it is worth testing. It's worth testing this type of image against that type of image. It's worth testing stats images. Stats go really well. You know, 96% of women do X, Y, and Z. Do you agree? They catch people's, you know, attention, and they will respond to it. Another thing I want to talk about is content theming. So the idea of this is just basically this webinar is to give you as much information as possible. Okay, so I can't go into too much detail, for example, like in the hashtags, but I've got loads of resources about hashtags and things like that that we can, you know, we can link you to and hook you up with. But content theme is a really great idea, and especially for a platform like Instagram. So you would decide on 5 to 7 themes that represent you or your business, and you rotate around these, okay? So for me on my Instagram, I think I've got 5, and I literally rotate around those 5 themes. It's gone a bit weird when I've been on holiday because I just randomly posted a load of Amsterdam stuff. But in the main, I rotate around 5 themes. And so I would say you need to focus on 80% giving value by just giving advice, giving value, giving your perception, giving your perspective, and then 20% pitch or driving traffic elsewhere. So 20% of the time you can be driving them to your products or your blog posts, and 80% of the time you're just giving value. You're showing up and giving value, okay? And encouraging your readers to share themselves too in your captions. So you might say, hey, this is me doing this. Why don't you share as well? But a system really keeps you on track. So I'm going to give you I think I'm going to give you an example. I can't even see my own slides in the next bit. So I've got, as you can probably imagine, I've got no notes. I'm just doing this from, oh, thank you, Jay. But I think the next one is an example. Yes, an example of theme rotation. So say you're a jewelry designer, okay, and you would have images of you, okay, because you are your brand. So it's really important that you are in your Instagram, regardless of who you are, pretty much. So images of you. You can have images of the products being made, images of the finished products, behind the scenes of your business. So if you post them all by hand, you could have a picture of everything packaged up, and you going off to the post office, or you know, a snowy scene as you're fighting against the snow to get to the post office, or whatever that behind the scenes looks like. And then maybe you've got a food obsession, or you love coffee, or your dog, or whatever. And something like that, that's going to be the other thing. Maybe you've got a great marriage, and that's a big part of who you are, and something that you'd like to share. And so that might be one of your themes. So hopefully does this make sense, guys? Are you down with content theming? If you have 7, you can have 7. If you have 12, you can have 12. If you have 9, that makes your grid perfect, you know, whatever. I think 5 is an easy thing for me to remember. And so that shows you how, as a jewelry designer, you'll be sharing you will be sharing your products, but you'll also be sharing like the behind the scenes of your business and your personal, you know, your personal idiosyncrasies as well. So there's no, if you didn't want to share your, the images, the jewelry being made, then you could share 2 of your other personal things. Yeah. So you don't have to stick to, it has to be 2 products or 2, it can be whatever you want. But think of what would sum up you and your business. And so this is an example of Jasmine Starr's grid. So you can see that obviously you don't know what these are representing to her, but you know, I know she has about 7 that she rotates. And so she's got her dog, she's got her marriage and her pictures of her and JD together. She's got things about business. She's got things about her product. You know, so she will rotate round her grid. And as you can see in her grid there of 9, she has 3 with her in it by herself. I think that might be a 4th up there, and 1 with JD in the middle. So you can see how she rotates around her theme. So she doesn't have 2 pictures of herself together. She doesn't have 2 pictures of her dog together. She rotates round so that she always has a balance. And that's really important. So I think, you know, think of what your audience needs from you. So who is your ideal reader? Everything we do goes back to this ideal reader, but I can't tell you how important it is to know that and to know who this person is. And so who is your ideal reader? So maybe they need different topics, as in maybe you're like one of my clients, Ali, she's got a green lifestyle blog. So some of her people come to her for the green issues and the green education, and some come to her for vegan. So she's got kind of 2 different topics, but maybe they're like my audience are on a journey. So they're kind of like beginners, intermediate and advanced. And so I have the same content, but different levels. Yeah. So it depends on who your audience is, but think, what do they need from me right now? Okay. And then what are their milestones along the way? So For example, I might share stuff about social media, but I might share stuff about mindset as well, because as I said to my inner circle ladies earlier, it's not just about what I can teach you, it's about what you do with it. It's about your mindset and how you cope with it and how you action it. And so what are their milestones along the way? And that's how you can create the value in the content that you're giving to people. That's when people say to me, I don't know what to share with people and I don't know how to give value, and that you need to think, what if you're your ideal reader a few steps ahead, what did you need to know when you are where they are now? So create all your social content with this information in mind. So you're giving true value to your audience. They will feel that they're heard, they will feel understood, and that deepens that connection with you. And it will really improve that know, like, and trust factor. So I'm going to talk a little bit about organization now. So this really, it really does make the difference to keeping organized. So we all need systems, not only to stay organized, but to stay consistent. And the really value about, I need to think about what my obsession is. I need a dog. It doesn't have to be an obsession. It could just be something you enjoy. If you love reading, then maybe share that. What makes you you, and what do you love, and what would you love to share? And what is like a window into your life, and what sums you up. That's what we need to share more of, because people aren't always doing that, and they're the people that aren't being successful. When you're Kim Kardashian, you can throw whatever you want up on your Instagram feed in whatever order, have selfie beside selfie beside selfie, and it doesn't matter, people are still going to like it. But when you're mere mortals like you and I, sorry, dumping you into the mere mortals bucket with me, but we need to have some sort of system. It needs to look beautiful, it needs to attract people. It does, there's no two ways about it. And so that is important. What consistency gives you is it breeds confidence. So your readers and viewers, if you're on YouTube or whatever, will know that you're going to rock up. You're always going to show up, and it breeds confidence. And if they're confident, they're going to come back to you. They're going to come back to your Instagram. They're going to say they want to hear from you first. They're going to do all that because they're going to know that you are going to keep showing up. So many people online are kind of flash in the pans. And I really believe that quite a lot of the value is really just, keep on keeping on, because showing up. So Jade said her obsessions are Christmas, Disney, Minecraft, and cold drinks. Yeah. And Julie says she is a mere mortal. Haha. I think my obsession is children, but they're already on there too much, and there's not enough of you on her grid. Exactly. But what are you without your kids? There must be something that you enjoy, or that you enjoyed before you had kids, and actually you would like to start sharing that a little bit more. Maybe it's your marriage, maybe it's a side of your personality, maybe it's whatever it is. It could be a million and one things, but that is the real you, and that needs to come out more. And so there are so many systems that you can use to keep organized. You can use Airtable, you can use Excel, you can use Numbers, Trello. And the key is really whatever works for you is the thing that is important. I use various different things, and it is just whatever works for you. But then you're going to stick at it. So don't keep on swapping and changing your organization system. Really stick to the one that you've got and really make that work. I'm going to talk about batching, because batching really creates a better consistency. It's, so I think I've got a typo in there, so I'm not going to change it now. So social media is meant to be social, and it is a wonderful way to engage with your audience, but it's really hard to do that when you've got no time. So when you're already grabbing images and captions and trying to think of things to say, and you're trying to think on the fly all the time, there's no time left to engage with anyone, is there? There just isn't. You're trying to, I should have put something up on Instagram, damn, I haven't done it, trying to think of a caption, and how are you going to have time to engage? And everyone says it's engagement that makes the difference, and it is, but how are you going to do that when you've got no time? So the plan for Instagram would be to plan it and to plan everything else as well. So I plan it by looking for inspiration, to look at the overview of my month, to establish my themes that we talked about before. So for example, I think mine are changing a little bit at the moment, but mine would be, I think for a time anyway, mine were like selfies, and that would be like a motivational kind of selfie, would be a desk flat lay with a business kind of edge on it, would be my daughter, would be what else was my theme? My book, I think, and I can't remember what my other one was at the time, but it shows you, it's things, and cups of tea. So that was my 5, and I think it's shifting a little bit at the moment, but that is still the 5 that I'm kind of going with. And so they share the important things about me. So look for that inspiration, establish an overview of your month, establish your themes. You can make a list of the influencers that you want to mention. So if you've got a cooking blog and you want to make Nigella's lemon drizzle recipe, then you're going to tag her in it, aren't you? Unless you're an idiot. Like, why wouldn't you do that? So tag her in it because she might see it, and it's really important to make these connections with people. Then you're going to find the relevant hashtags, and as I said, I've got something that might help you out a little bit later. And you're going to create the graphics. So you're going to take your pictures, you're going to find your stock images, you're going to create your graphics, whatever that is. You're going to create captions all at the same time, edit them all, and then you're going to get the look right of your grid. You can do that in loads of different ways, but I recommend Planoly because it is brilliant. It can post for you, or you can do it yourself, but it lets you really sort out your grid and how it looks before it goes live. And then you can reuse your content. So this is a really important thing, is that you can reuse that content. So you'll see if you go onto big Instagrammers accounts, I follow this amazing vegan food blogger, and she posted a picture of her pancakes yesterday, and I scrolled back about 9 grids, so about 9, about 3 of 9 rather, and that pancake picture was in there again. So there's no reason why you can't repost stuff, even if you want to have fresh images, and grab that caption that you wrote last year or 3 months ago that was amazing and summed up something that is still relevant in your life or your business, and share that again. Copy and paste it and put it in again. Even people that commented will not remember. People don't remember. So do yourself a favor and save some time and reuse your social media on Instagram and on all the other platforms. If you said something that was really great, put it out there again into the world. I'm just going to take a swig, guys, because my throat is going dry. But I want to ask if you want a helping hand. So let me know in the chat if you want me to continue to share with you something that can help you. So hopefully let me know in the chat if you've also got value so far from this webinar. I'd love to know that. My primary goal in life is to help people out. So I'd love to know in the chat if you have got some value, or you've thought of something in a different way on this webinar and you'd like me to go ahead and share with you something that can help you even further. You're going to get a big slugs of me drinking out of my new amazing water bottle. So April says she's really learning a lot for this and would like me to go ahead. Yes, 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 mention it. Huge value. Oh, thank you, Gemma. So I've just bought a chili bottle for anyone who doesn't like water. This is revolutionary, I tell you, honestly. So Julie's just thought of her obsession is gluten-free cooking. Exactly, Julie. Exactly. Perfect. Perfect. So I'm glad that you've thought of that. So yeah, if anyone doesn't like water, get a chili bottle because it keeps it that cold. You will like water. It's amazing. So I'm hearing people say, yeah, let me go ahead. Good. So, okay. So I'm just going to share with you something new. So I think we probably are, but are you tired of running around trying to create social media content that doesn't get traction? So we've all done it. I've done it as before, created something that I've thought people might respond to and they just don't, or I'm just too busy. And so you might feel like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to get traction from social media that you manage to and struggle to kind of pull together, but you can't, it doesn't get the traction, or you can't pull it together in time. And it is actually every busy blogger's recurring social media headache. And so I want to introduce to you Socially Savvy. So I'm glad that you've got benefit from this webinar so far. And what I'm going to share with you is going to show you how you can benefit even more, in my opinion. And I'm going to just get straight in and show you all about it. And then hopefully you can, decide whether it's for you or not. There's never any pressure, but I really wanted to share it with you all. So Socially Savvy is the only subscription that makes social media easy. So it erases all your social media stress in under 30 days. And I actually think it's as soon as you start, because it's not going to take you 30 days to get value out of it. It's just going to take you a few minutes really to use one of the captions for the first time or one of the things for the first time. And it gives you the power to connect with your audience by sharing the things that matter. It will save your valuable time so that you can work in your zone of genius. So how many times have you thought, I need to work on my blog more rather than in it? But you're already in it. You're in it so much to try and get that traction and to try and think of all these ideas yourself that it's really hard sometimes. And sometimes all we need is the spark of inspiration to help us. So when you invest in Socially Savvy, you get one shiny new issue each month, and you can start using it within 30 seconds and you start seeing the results over the next 30 days. So these are the first three covers of the first three issues of Socially Savvy. So I love them and I hope you like them too. But what's inside? So each month you receive a new issue packed with 15 fill-in-the-blank captions which are perfect for Instagram. They are lifestyle-based, so they work for whatever niche you're in, and they will help your audience get to know you better, which is the most important thing. So they're going to cover, your personal feelings, your personality, not too deep and delving, but they're going to help you share you. It includes 15 conversation starters. Now, these are perfect for Facebook pages or groups, but they can also be used on Twitter. It includes a social media strategy broken down so you know exactly how to implement it. And so I feel like quite often with strategy, it seems like a scary word and it can just feel a bit weird. And we feel like, well, how is that going to apply to me? So what I've done is every month I alternate between Instagram and Facebook because they're the ones that we're focusing on with the engagement wise. And I've found a strategy that maybe a big company is using or another company online is using. And I've broken it down so you can see what they're doing, like why they're doing it and how you can do something. Okay. And so that will be broken down so that you can just implement it in your business and see whether, or your blog, if you're not quite at business level yet, and see how it can work for you. You also get 30 hand-picked seasonal images from top sites. So these will be linked and they're all categorized to speed up your process. So they're all from attribution-free site like Unsplash. And they're categorized in things like self-care and, family, inspiration, motivation, whatever. And so you can just go to that link straight away. And they're all images that I would use on my blog. So they're not rubbish images. And it will just, if you need that image and you're writing a sentimental post, you can just go to it, look at that section, click the link, find the image. You might find a couple in that section, and then you'll be able to use that image straight away. And you don't have to spend hours searching through stock media sites because I've already done it. I've sat there and I've agonized over which ones to put in, so you don't have to. It includes 20 seasonal content ideas as well, which you can use to create at least 40 blog posts. And so these can be used across different topics. So for example, if one was Halloween, if you're a beauty blogger, you could use that to be Halloween makeup or pumpkin-based skincare. Yeah. But if you're a food blogger, you can use it to create, the best Halloween cupcakes, etc. If you're a parenting blogger, that could be, fancy dress ideas or whatever. So you can see how just that one basic general topic idea can go in different ways, but also can create, I'd say, at least 40 blog posts. And I show you how to do that in a couple of examples in each issue as well. And then the last thing that you get is an entire month's worth of awareness days. So they are international and national events. And what you can have is things like, if you're having a bit of a dry day and not knowing what you're putting on social media, but it's National Ice Cream Week, then you can put something up about that because that's what it is. And that that is relevant on that day. And so And so that's really, you know, it's a great way if you want to pitch someone a news story, then, sorry, I've got a little person. No, leave me for 5 minutes and I'll be done, please. If you want to pitch someone a news story, then you know that if it's, for example, say you'd suffered miscarriage and it's National Miscarriage Awareness Week, then you know that's the week that you need to pitch the journalist before then. You know, you can really plan your pitching content and all of your blog content around the fact that, you know, these things are coming up. So that's really important. So there's a special deal for the first 50 people to join in. So you will get locked in at this founding member rate of £13 a month. So it's forever. So I've only got 50 slots at this rate. If the 50 have gone or it goes beyond the 1st of September, the price goes to £15. So all you need to do if you want to get in on Socially Savvy is to go to that link that you see here, youbabymemummy.com/socially savvy, and click on the £15 and then enter the discount code of founding50 and you will get the discount. So you will get it at £13 and that's locked in forever. So if I ever decide to add something else to this and it's going to be, you know, £20 a month or something in the future, all you'll ever pay is £13 and you're never locked in. So you can cancel it anytime you want. So I thought it'd be fun to think of a few other things that you can use, that you can buy with this amount. So you could buy a McDonald's lunch for 2 if one of those is a Happy Meal. You could buy 3 posh coffees probably, or you could buy a basket full of from the pound shop that you will never ever use. Or you can relieve yourself of the daily struggle of blog content, sourcing images, social media content, strategy, trying to create engagement, keeping on top of seasonal content, and just say yes to going from frazzled to fabulous. Because that is the promise of Socially Savvy. So in my eyes, it's a real no-brainer. You get stacks of ready-made content that you can easily make your own. It is created to increase your engagement and to help you connect with your audience by sharing the real you, but it won't bankrupt you either. It's not a huge amount of money. And again, it's tax deductible. So hooray, you can put it down as a business expense and you don't have to pay any, you know, that comes off the profit of your business. So it's absolutely amazing in that way that it's tax deductible. I love tax deductible things. I'd rather get something for myself than pay tax on it. So with Socially Savvy, you can have the perfect caption when you're not inspired. You can use the stock images without spending time searching countless sites. You can engage with your audience even when you're busy, stressed, like most of us are most of the time, or lacking creativity. It helps you speed up your content curation process and also creation process because you've got those blog topics ready to just have a bit of inspiration put on them. And you can enjoy more free time knowing that your social media feeds are covered really and you don't have to worry about them. So it really is social media content without the hassle. Socially Savvy is for you if you want your content conquered. You really want to just get it done. You want to enjoy more time to work on the things that will really move your business forward. Maybe you've got brain fog sometimes when you're trying to think of that caption and you just can't think of it because your kid is like hanging off you and wants a pot of yogurt, or the baby's nappy's just exploded and you need to, you know, sort that out and you need to get something up. It's going to help you get real engagement from your Facebook page or group. And if you're ready to make a change that will have lasting effects, I have got a webinar bonus as well, because I'm like that. My mentor said, don't give them a bonus, it'll be fine. And I thought, no, I want to give them a bonus. So the webinar bonus is if you buy on this webinar and send me a screen grab of your receipt that has the time on it, so I know that you bought it on the webinar, I'll give you my new big database, which you might have already got #Hero, which is a freebie that I produced a while ago. And it's only a couple of pages of hashtags. But as you can see here, I made it into a bigger version. So these are literally hundreds of hashtags broken down into 13 different niches. And you can only see, I think, 5 of the niches across the top. So the things like, business or photography or design or whatever else it is, I think I'll just put the, oh, that's not, it's wiped off the link I had. I was going to put the link in. Jade, if you're there, can you put the link back in, please? Because I realise it's not on this screen. I could type it in, but basically there's hundreds of hashtags broken into 13 niches. And that is completely free. I'll send you that download when you send me the screenshot of the receipt. Let me go on to the next bit. So the link, I'm just going to flip to the link now. So if you wanted to, this isn't a Q&A, I'll just go back to that in a minute, but it's youbabymemory.com/socially savvy. I'm just going to copy it and try and put it in the chat for everyone, because it should have gone into the, oh, I've done it at the same time as Jade. Thank you, darling. There we go. So I'm going to share with you a couple of testimonials, so you know that people have actually tested this out already. So Cherry, lovely Cherry, who is in the inner circle, said, as a busy blogger, I often find myself dropping the ball when it comes to social media. I find it overwhelming to try to curate content, which not only works on different platforms, but also fits with the time of year. Socially Savvy has completely changed my blogging world. Not only do I now have time to have time appropriate and highly engaging content at my fingertips, I also have stock photos which I can use for each post and blog content ideas for the whole month. Socially Savvy has made planning ahead so much easier and no longer stressful and overwhelming, leaving me so much more time to engage with my audience and get on with building my business. I love it. And I also had one of my another inner circle member, Katie, from What Katie Said, try it out. And she said, Socially Savvy has been a godsend. I'm a busy mum trying to juggle life and a business all at once, and social media tends to take a back seat. With Socially Savvy, I can pick out a caption and adapt it for Instagram, or use a question from my Facebook page and just feel more on top of things. My favorite part of the package is the monthly topic ideas, as they help jumpstart my imagination and get my creative juices flowing. Love, love, love it. And so that is what I wanted to share with you today. Snaps for Cherry and Katie. I know they were so lovely. And so if you have any questions either about Socially Savvy or about the content that I shared before, please pop them in the chat. This is the Q&A portion of the webinar now. So I'm going to hang on and answer any questions that you might have. Jesus made me laugh because she said, send me the life-changing spreadsheet. It is pretty epic, I must admit. But I have I'll be down in a little while. Yes, Ava. Excuse my child, everyone. I am at home with my child. Jade said, I'm totally in. Let me have a look at the chat. Let me just check I'm the worst at social media. I know this will change things. So excited. Already signed up because I need this in my life, says Marilyn. Perfect. Socially Savvy. Can't bloom and wait, says Gemma.
Who's up here?
So fired up about this, says Marilyn. Bless her heart. Every girl needs a lip gloss. And I've signed up, says April. Yay, April. Totally in, says Jay. Just signed up, says Catherine. Yay. Okay, so let me know in the chat. Well, my life falls apart. If you have any questions about Socially Savvy or about any of the content I was sharing, that's totally fine. And really enjoyed the webinar. Thank you. No worries, April. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to stop sharing because we've got the link in the chat now. So if I stop sharing, I should be able to show my face again. Yay! So hopefully you can see my face again. So let me know if how excited. There's another amazing reason to love September. Thanks for all the amazing webinars. So much has helped me. Oh, thank you, Jade. I'm glad it was useful. So really, I'm glad it's been useful. That's the main thing of any webinar I give. It's really weird. It's not advancing on my screen. Which is strange. Jay's put the link back in. So I'm just going to hang on for a few moments, have a little drink, show you my bottle. How amazing is that? Oh, so gorgeous.
I was going to buy me one for Christmas.
Yes, I am. Shush. And see whether there's any questions that come through. I'm so happy to answer any. And if you want to get in on Socially Savvy, what will happen is you will, the discount code is founding50. So let me put that in the chat. Founding. Oh, hang on a minute. 50. There you go. And then you can send your receipt to, I'm trying to type with my French keyboard, which is not easy. Everything's in the wrong place. .com. Okay, so if you, yes, perfect. Thank you, Jay. Jay's put both the links and the code, and everyone's put the code. Thank you, guys. And if you send it to abby@youbabymemommy.com, at some point this evening, I will send it all out. What I just want to make sure that everyone knows that it does say it when you actually go through the checkout process, but I want to, you won't get it straight away. You'll get the issue actually on the 1st of September. Going forward for October, it will come out 2 days before the end of the month. So whatever, I think it's the 29th of September, you will get October's. And then, you know, the 29th of the next month, you will get the next one. So, oh, thank you, Jay's put all of the details. I wish I could pin that. Can I pin that? No. Jay's put all of those details in it. My mind is boggling. When is the issue out? So yeah, so for the very first one, because it's the launch one, the 1st of September, early doors on the 1st, but going forward, I'm going to send them out 2 days before the end of the month so that you can get a kickstart with planning. But there is no awareness day on the 1st, so you'll be all right. I checked that. It's my wedding anniversary, but there's no awareness day. Kelly said, I've signed up, can't wait. Thank you, Jay, for putting all those details in. Adventures with Jay, brilliant. So glad I answered that question. I just argued with my bank who blocked my card when I tried to sign up, but I'm now in. Yes. Can you cancel at any time? Yeah. So at any point, all you do is go to your Teachable account and just cancel it. So you're never locked in. And then if you cancelled it and want to go back in it, you'd be able to do that. There's never any hard feelings. You just have to, you just go in at the £15. That's what it would be. So you get the founding rate for as long as you are a founding member. If you go out and back in, it's like the inner circle. If ever the price goes up, or if one of my founding members left and come back, they would pay the sort of bigger price. But yeah, you can cancel at any time if it's not for you, if you feel that it doesn't help you or whatever. But it's my, my goal to make it really helpful. And hopefully I'm going to chuck in a few extra bits every now and again in Teachable for people. When you sign up, you'll see that you don't get the issue straight away, but you get a few blog posts that are kind of like the stuff we've talked about today. And you get that in Teachable. So that you know how best to use that. So as I said, you can just literally copy and paste the captions and fill them in, or just use them as they are. But you can then adapt them to fit you a bit more as well. And they just give you that kind of, the spark of enthusiasm and the spark of, of having someone else help you basically when you're already a bit, pressed for time. Don't forget, whilst you're on the webinar, this is when I'm going to give you that bonus. So if you buy whilst I'm still talking, you will get the #Hero database, which is really, really cool. And so, yeah, so that's why I'm hanging on, really. Sounds like something I need, says Jess. So for those of you who buy and screen grab, so I know that you bought it on the webinar, you will get, and obviously this is the live version of the webinar, not the replay, you will get the database. My daughter's whispering to the dog in my ear and I can hear it. Sounds like something I need. Yeah, he says Alina. Alina is in. So don't forget, if you've got any questions now, guys, about the webinar, not necessarily about Socially Savvy, please make sure you ask me. That's totally cool. I wish I could explain my excitement, says Jade. We got there, babe, didn't we? I need to do another webinar on another time about being tenacious and not giving up and keeping going when everything in the whole world is going wrong. which would be another story for another day. But Jade and some of the ladies know what it's taken to get here today. So yeah, if you've got, I really want to buy it now. Literally have zero in my bank account until I'm paid, which should be Friday, and they're going to miss out on the hashtag hero, aren't they? Maybe I will, maybe it will come back out, but at the moment it's for people that buy when I'm live, because you're the boss at not giving up. Oh God, I need the webinar, that webinar too. Yeah. Well, we'd had a pep talk today in the inner circle about success and about what I think it takes to get a success in it, and it's not giving up was one of them, and keeping on going. But we can talk about that another day. I'm just making sure there are no more questions coming through. I'm just going to take a little drink again.
Must be lipstick on your bottle, Rose. Can you help me find my lip gloss?
Not now.
No, when you're finished. Because I'm going to pack some stuff for a drink and snacks.
I'm a little helper. I gave her a kiss on the lip earlier and she's kept it on. This is what it's like, guys. It's just proof that you can run a business with your sprog at home, aren't you?
And your child.
And your child. You can run a business with your sprog at home. And you sometimes
at home and child.
You sometimes have to bribe them and say, hey, if you're quiet, I will give you something, don't we?
If you're quiet, then we'll give you something.
That's what we sometimes say at the end. And before we get going, oh yes, get it, the in-person, I'll get support you need. Jade said, afternoon, Ava. Well done for being so good for mummy this afternoon. She's been amazing all day because of all the tech issues that we've had. Basically, Ava's just been amazing, haven't you?
I'm 5 years old now.
And she's lost another 2 today. And one's wobbly. She hit it off the tree about an hour before we started on this webinar. On the climbing rope. And
Daddy did, and on this one, Daddy rushed it too hard on the up and downy thing on the rope.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognise it, and then Daddy did it too hard, and then it really hurt. So the thingamajig gave me a lollipop.
She did, the woman. Right, so have we got any questions in
I'm
here?
going to choose colour, and I choose red.
Oh my God, look at those, all those military. I know, there's none there. It's like she's just going to be like an old person with no teeth for a while, aren't you? Yeah?
I'm not an old person.
You're still beautiful, aren't you? It's like, yeah. I'd love to answer any questions if you have any. The chat looks slow at the moment. But so basically, Jay's put the links in there. So it's youbabymemummy.com/socially savvy. Use the code founding50 and you will get it for £13 locked in forever, like forever. So even if I decide, hey, I'm going to start putting this, that and the other in it every month, and it's now whatever money, you'll still only pay that rate. Thank you, Jay, for putting that in again. And then email that receipt and I will give you the document with the what's the word? I see Jill's just bought. Thank you, Jill. I'm glad you've jumped in. I will give you the #hero database, which is so exciting. I had to stop myself because I was like, I'll just add a little bit more in. I'll just add some more hashtags. And then I was like, oh my days. No worries, Heidi. Signed up. Can't wait, says Laura. Yay. Hopefully you got value, Heidi. Any questions, let me know. But yeah, I think that we're probably going to close out now. So just wait for anyone that wants to, if anyone's on now and they want to buy it, now is the time to do it for that bonus before I shut the live stream down. Okay, so I don't want anyone to miss out by a few seconds if I'm going to shut this down.
And the bottle.
The bottle is so pretty, isn't it?
And there's something good on it, flowers and leaves and
everything on it, isn't it? This isn't I bought this with my own hard-earned cash.
Actually someone gave it to her.
No, they didn't. I bought it.
Yeah, Mama bought it for her get well soon present.
I did. I bought it for my get well soon present.
Because Mum was in the hospital and her blood clotted.
I did. was rubbish, wasn't it?
I was staying in the hospital about 3 days.
It was
6
rubbish.
months.
Not 6 months, 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days, and you have to wear those plasters with little clips on 6 months.
Yeah, I do. That's
on a long travel.
Well done, Neva. That is true. I had one further up. I'll find it. Oh, my question. Hope it makes sense. So you say you can fill in the blank for what fits. I run my own Instagram and another for a volunteer event. Yeah, I think you can adapt it.
You guys.
I'm answering the question now. So,
Mum, my present for get well soon.
No, you don't have to send me a present. Yes, I think you can. I think that it depends on the caption, but there will be plenty that you can adjust, and it will get your juices flowing as well. And you can think, oh yeah, I mentioned that there, and I could just change it a little bit and use it over here. So, it's it's going to be good for sharing the personal as well. Well, not personal, but your personality as well. So yeah, I think you can. Please. Oh, she's drawing you a heart. Love heart. Oh, bless you. Yeah, so I think you definitely will be able to adapt most, if not all of it, to sort of fit both. And some of it, for an event might not be as appropriate as it would be for your blog, but you can just make that judgment. So I think you'll be able to definitely get, Jade says she's got 2 accounts with 2 different audiences. I'll be using it on both. Yeah, I think totally. And recycling that content is going back to what
I got a dress with hearts on it.
Recycling that content is going back to what I was saying before about being able to just reuse it from one account to another, and people not not necessarily having seen it before when you've shared it before. So it definitely goes back to that. Right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today.
And me. One bit.
You're crazy. And I'll email you in a second because I can't access it through Teachable. No worries. We'll email you. So excited for this. Okay, can you just leave that? Right. So thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking with me, and I will speak to you all soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.